Hello and welcome. Hopefully we're all live and all sorted. Seemed a bit weird today with the setup. How is everyone doing? Thank you for joining me on another Monday evening, 8 p.m. for the usual Amazon FBA Q&A session. And maybe we'll do some Cogito sourcing as well. Maybe. We'll have to see. Hopefully you guys can hear me all okay. Let me just make sure my settings are all looking good. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay, or give me a thumbs down if there's something wrong. Let me know. How is everyone doing? Did everyone have a good weekend? Hopefully you did. Hope you've got all your Amazon FBA questions all ready to go. I know my DMs have been blowing up over the weekend with questions, so I know you guys have got questions. Took the weekend off this weekend to relax. Did some board gaming on Saturday, a game called Frosthaven. Spent time with family on Sunday, and overall was good. And man, the profits are booming at the moment. So I think how much did I make on the weekend? This month is going crazy. So month to date right now is £4,775 profit, which is crazy. I think I did like £1,600, £1,700 profit for the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, long weekend. Hey, Snappy Fish, how's it going? Thanks for letting me know. Oh, Snappy Fish has got a question right off the bat. That's great. So, cool. Hopefully you guys put your questions down there. I've definitely got some in the DMs. I'm going to start closing off DMs for questions, unless they're private. I'm forcing people to put them in the group from, foreseeable future, just because it just gets too much. And to be honest, I think you're doing yourself a disservice just asking me one single question sometimes. Sometimes it's better to get the group to an answer, because everyone's got different experiences and can have a different, perspective on the question and the answer. So, DMing me questions. I'm going to put a stop to that for a little bit. Oh, I just sold an item of stock that I've had for so long. I'm basically selling it for break even. But man, I've had that in stock for a long old time. It was oversized as well. Hey, Michael, how's it going? Hey, Kevin. Thanks for joining. Good afternoon from Lakeland, Florida. Thank you. It's nice to know that we've got an international audience. Hey, JP, how's it going? Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Just tried to relax this weekend because I was definitely overworking last week. So took it actually pretty chill today as well, actually, which is quite good. Did quite a few calls, actually, with people. So I think I did 4 calls, 4 15-minute calls, some that overran a little bit. But no, it was good. Good day, good weekend. Looking forward to doing this Q&A. But yeah, it's nice to see that item sell, actually. It's like a giant model kit that I bought ages ago and just has no SPM. So one of those kind of products that you buy and you realise it's just not going to do that well afterwards. So, cool. So I guess we'll jump straight into some of the questions, and I can just fill in between the questions. So Snappy Fish is asking, why does Profit Sweep A2A profit different from the default settings in BuyBot Pro? I just tried BuyBot Pro tonight and the profits look different. So I'm not 100% sure on this, but you just need to make sure obviously all your VAT settings are correct and things like that. I think Profit Sweep is posting VAT figures rather than non-VAT figures. That means if you're non-VAT, they're even more profitable. I think BuyBot Pro also adds in a month of storage. Not that should make much difference to the cost. You also need to make sure you've not got any kind of like prep fees and stuff set up. So, interesting question. I'd love to know how different it is. Seller Amp versus BuyBot Pro. But yeah, you need to obviously make sure all your settings are all lined up perfectly so that you're getting a fair test there. Cool. I hope you guys like the blue background. We're going for the sort of I was going to go for purple, but it didn't really quite come out right. Anyway, blue will do. Cool. Adam, what's my profit? I think I just said 4,007. I mean, today it's 328. For the month, it is 4,779 now. So not too bad. Hey, Ray, how's it going? Hi, Ibrahim. Thank you for joining. Hopefully that answers your question anyway, Snappy Fish. I'm not 100% sure without actually sitting down and analysing them. That's basically what I think basically on that one. Ibrahim is asking, how do you deal with VAT? At the end of every month, you put aside X amount for VAT payments. No, I just pay it when it comes in. So VAT payments go out every quarter. So for me, I have to file my January, February, and March VAT payments in not April, on May the 8th. So it's like a month and 8 days after that period. So yeah, January, February, March we paid on May 8th, and then April, May, June will be paid on August 8th. Yeah, that makes sense, I think, yeah. So, yeah, you do it every quarter, basically, and then you just hope you have enough money in your bank account, basically. So, ideally, you have an accountant that's going to give you an idea of what it is, and you can kind of save up for it, because you do have like a month and a bit to know what it is, if your accountant's good enough. Thank you, Adam. Incredible results. Yeah, not too bad. Can't complain, to be honest. It's been a bumper month. Last month and this month, and I'll announce it officially in the group, but tomorrow, hopefully when it arrives. But just to let you know, I've ordered it from Amazon. Hopefully it'll be here it should be here tomorrow. I am giving away a MacBook Air M3 to the group, basically. So that'll be given away on the, I need to check the dates, but 20th September. So it'd be a Christmas gift, essentially. So I'm going to run it for quite a long time, up to December. But I've always wanted to do this. I'm going to give away a MacBook Air M3. It's like just under £1,000 to the group. So some lucky winner is going to win that. And there's going to be multiple ways to enter over the period of, September, October, November, and December. And I'll give it away around just before Christmas. So exciting stuff. I don't see any paid groups doing that. But yeah, hopefully you guys are excited for that. Yes, I do use an accountant. I use Awesome right now. They are not awesome. They are terrible. Do not use them. I've just told them I'm not renewing with them. And I'm going with RT Accounting. I still need to set that up, actually, quite urgently. That's who I'm going to use. Yeah, Nilby says profits on buy only differ by the storage fee. Okay, and plus that. Yeah, hopefully, yeah, that could be correct. Absolutely. Ryu, good going, thank you. Which methods are purely online trading, and does it have to have long-term profitability? Not sure what you mean by that. What methods are purely... You mean like online arbitrage? Is that what you mean? I mean, as an online thing, you've got online arbitrage. Wholesale, maybe, if they've got a website, but probably more... I guess it is online, I suppose. Retail arbitrage obviously isn't, unless you order it online to collect in store. And then what else is there? Private label, I suppose you consider online as well. So everything but retail arbitrage, if that's what you're asking. Simon, thank you for jumping on. We had a great call earlier. What is the most efficient way to get the items added into inventory on Amazon and cog into SDK after making a purchase? Okay, so what's the most... I am definitely not an optimal person. This is why I'm hiring an admin, or I've hired an admin VA. I mean, I just basically I'm always checking anyway to make sure, before I buy anything, pretty much I'm checking to make sure I can sell it. So I'm chucking it into, Seller Central. I'm doing add inventory. I'm adding the SKU in there, not the SKU, the ASIN, and just making sure I can sell it. And then from there, I just add it, and I just use a custom SKU, which is nothing, there's no real formula to it, but I just have the price, the item, maybe if it's a color or a different color or something, I'll put that in there as well, and then where I got it from. At the end, so it's like, it might be 1999 dash, I don't know, poster Europa, poster dash Europa, and then dash Etsy, for example. That's where I got those posters from. It's really hard to point at the right place. So when you're looking at the screen like this, it's like being in a mirror. Okay, yeah. So, and then what's my admin process? My admin process is all over the place right now. I need to get this better. I am. Yeah, I'm not great, to be honest. At the admin, I am not good. So I'm not a good example of this. I'm all over the place and not very efficient. And it's something I definitely need to improve. Well, I'm just passing the buck on to someone else, to be honest, that's been trained in doing admin. So, but yeah, essentially the process is you buy stuff, you add it to your buy sheet or your, or whatever you need to do there, where you're recording your purchases. Then you add it into Seller Central with the different SKUs and stuff like that. Then you may have to add, for me, I have to add it into my sheet for my prep center, whether that's using the software or the sheet. And then that's pretty much it, to be honest. But yeah, quite a lot of manual work. It's probably why it takes me so long to order. Ordering a lot of stock is really hard. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's amazing how long it takes. If you've got, say, 10 leads to buy every day from VAs, that's a lot of work to order all that stuff, especially it's on different websites, and it just takes ages to do, especially if you have to analyze it as well, double check it. So it does take a lot of effort. That's why I'm trying to train my admin. That's why I'm trying to train my virtual assistants to purchase for me as well, so they could source, purchase, and then my admin VA deals with the admin, and then I've got an accountant, and hopefully 90% of my work's done. Not really, but you know. But yeah, that's an ideal situation anyway. Michael says, hey Asim, how's it going? Michael says, I'd like to know the admin steps, maybe coverage in another video. Sure, I can just go through what I do. I mean, I probably need to sit down and actually come up with a better process myself, and then like I suppose I could do a video on that. I mean, someone asked me to do, it's very, yeah, I suppose that's one I can definitely do for the most part. Someone asked me, like, can I do like an overview of STK, for example, like a tutorial? I can't, because I have to show my STK unless I get like a dummy account going. Maybe I'll get in touch with them and try and get a dummy account going. It's always quite difficult to like show Seller Central, Seller Toolkit. At Profit Protector Pro, I've got like a demo account which I can use. So yeah, but something I can definitely look into. So I need to sort that out anyway, because I'm doing my course, so which I've been talking about for months and making no progress on. JS, is it too late to start for Xmas? Absolutely not. Now is the time to start for Xmas. Now. I think September is the best month, because that's when all the retailers are going to start reducing on their stock, clearing out stock to make way for stock for Q4. So yeah, now's the time to buy decent deals and then get them sent in. You've got, basically, you can do Q4 up to like, or Christmas up to like November, basically. I mean, people still send things in December 1st, December 5th, December 10th, probably pushing it a little bit, but you know, people do it. So Adam says, do you recommend anyone for private label? I don't know anyone who does private label very well. So no, I'm joking. So Adam does private label. I don't know why. You know, I'm always plugging you, Adam, on private label. So there's two people I recommend for private label. Adam is one of them. Nikos is the other. So they both got a good experience in private label. I know Adam's absolutely crushing it on private label now. Adam, tell us your profits from private label every month. That'd be good to see in the chat. But yeah, so I don't recommend private label for new Amazon sellers. I don't recommend wholesale for new Amazon sellers either. Main reason being because you're going to make mistakes when you're a new Amazon seller. Better to make a mistake when you've bought 5 or 10 units from an online retailer, where I guess you could always return them, or if worst case scenario, you just made a mistake on 10 units, versus private label, you've shipped in, I don't know, a couple of hundred units from China, or maybe even more than that, or wholesale, where you've had to do a minimum order quantity of like 1,000 units, and you're stuck with 1,000 units. You're taking a big L on. So not a huge fan of private label and wholesale for beginners, but definitely once you've got a year under your belt doing OA, RA, then definitely something to transition into. How many ASINs do you currently have? Good question. Let's have a look. I have 374, and that probably includes some like grade and resale ones as well. But yeah, 374 ASINs right now, according to Seller Toolkit. Probably a few more, yeah, because a few. Well, obviously there's ones that are shipping in right now. Maybe another 10, I don't know, 15, maybe different ASINs going in. So, but around the 374 mark, 375. So I don't know if that's a lot or not. It's hard to manage a lot of ASINs. That's probably quite a lot to manage, to be fair. So Rise, I'm asking, is it without physical operations such as boxing and shipping? You're talking about Amazon FBA in general, are we? I mean, Amazon FBA, you don't have to do it yourself. You can use a prep center, but the idea is you send it into Amazon. They store it, they pick it, they pack it, they post it. So that's what Amazon FBA, fulfillment by Amazon. That's what that means. You have to get the stock into Amazon, though. That does require some prep. You can outsource that to prep centers. So in theory, you don't have to ever see the stock if you don't want to. You can use a prep center, send it into Amazon, have someone deal with your returns, and then basically never see stock ever again. That's what I want to get to, basically. I don't want to see a single item of stock ever again. I just got a big, fat return package today, actually. What was in there? There was a computer power supply, I think a gaming headset, 2 beard trimmers or body trimmers, which I've not even looked at the state of those. something else as well. So pretty much a box that's going straight in the bin, basically. Maybe the power supply might be okay, but the beard trimmers and hair trimmers, like, what the hell am I going to do with those? Especially if they're used. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and clean them and then try and sell them as used. So yeah, I hate that kind of stuff. I'm no longer selling those anymore. I don't know why I had them or where I got them from, but I'm not selling beard or body trimmers ever again. JS, can you recommend where to find a VA? Yes, if you check out my group, I have a link to Outsource Central. They're the ones that I use for my VAs. I've got 2 VAs from them. No matter who you get a VA from, you're going to have to do additional training. You have to give them feedback. So you need to know, at the very least, how to analyze products so you can give them feedback. They're not some sort of magical being that's going to find you thousands of pounds worth of leads. You do need to give them feedback, but they seem to train them pretty well. So yeah, if you want a VA, you can go into my group, and there's a channel in there called Virtual Assistants, and you can go there and get a VA from them. Cool, JP, I'm starting out this week and set up a Monzo bank account. Nice work. They're offering 6 months free 0 subscription. Would you recommend using that or just straight out or keep records? I mean, if you know how to do accounting, go for it. Yeah, I mean, if you know how to actually do accounting, that's a good thing. But you're going to need an accountant at some point. Since you're probably starting out as a sole trader, I suppose in theory you could do the accounts yourself and just wrap it up when you go limited. But yeah, I mean, that's obviously up to you. But I recommend getting an accountant, to be honest. You don't have to get one right away, but when you do get one, you're going to have to pay for a little backdating of all the stuff. But if you can keep track of all the stuff and you know how to do some basic accounting, that's a good thing, to be fair. So you're probably more than I know. So, so I got a message, from Tom G, who does mentoring, by the way. Yeah, breast pump. Use breast pump. I've had loads of those, Tom. Absolutely. I had to bin about 5 or 10 of them. Yeah. I've had those. What can you do with them? I thought about. I actually offered them to. So my cleaner runs a sort of charity where she helps people. And I was like, "Do you want these?" And the answer was no. So I was like, "Well, maybe I can take the pump, the sort of electrical air pump out of it, and sell them on eBay." And I was like, "You know what? I'm just going to throw these in the bin." So I still made good money on them, but I threw like £250 in the bin. That sucked. But yeah, there's the Tommy Tippy ones. Yeah, people used and returned breast pumps. That was nice. So one of the worst ones for me as well. Okay. Sad is asked, what's best start with, online arbitrage, wholesale, or white label? So yeah, private label is, I guess white label. Well, no, white label may be slightly different actually, but yeah, I know what you mean. Private label. Definitely online arbitrage out of that list. Like I said, I don't recommend private label or wholesale when you're starting out, because you're going to make mistakes, and your mistakes are going to be way more colossal when you're doing private label and wholesale. So definitely don't recommend those at all. Do online arbitrage. What's the worst case of online arbitrage? You buy something, if you've realized you made a mistake, you can send it back and get a refund. Or you can even send it into Amazon and maybe get it back in time and do a refund as well. And if none of those happen and you've just made a big mistake and you can't send it back, at least you've only bought 5-10 units. So, it's not end of the world really. Hopefully you're not going to lose your shirt on it. Whereas you could actually legitimately, lose your shirt if you're doing £1,000 order on wholesale, or you're shipping in £1,000 worth of goods from private label. So yeah, the mistakes are just so much bigger on those kind of things. I do not recommend getting into that. The other reason I don't like private label as well, for beginners, it's great if you know what you're doing, is because you've then got to also, not only got to figure out how to learn how to sell on Amazon, analyze listings, all the stuff that you have to do with online arbitrage. You've now got to do PPC, you've got to do images, you've got to do descriptions, listings. You've got there's a whole bunch of other stuff you've got to learn at the same time. It's too much to learn in one go, I think. I mean, people do it, but, and some people have been very successful. But for me, just do OA first, or an RA. Get your feet wet. Know how the Amazon platform works. And then once you've got 6 months, 12 months under your belt, then look into transitioning into private label and wholesale, in my opinion. So other people might disagree. What's the Adam said he's made 5-6k this month so far. Must be nice. He's made more money than me. So Adam's the expert on private label. Right. At what point will you become? So Michael's asking, what point will you become VAT registered? As I see a lot of conflicting information. I mean, basically, there's only one answer, and that's £90,000. That's when your turnover or your sales are approaching £90,000. So that is pretty much it. Now, there is a trick that people can do, and I'm not saying you should do this, but this is what most people do, is that they start off as a sole trader. They do £90,000 as a sole trader. They then convert their Amazon account to and set up a limited company, which then will reset the VAT threshold, and then do that, and then you get another 90k as a limited company, because it's separate. A limited company is essentially a separate entity. So it's like a different person, essentially, and it's limited because it's nothing to do with, you're just the manager of it, the steward of it, essentially. But anything that goes wrong with that is not on you, if that makes sense. Or it is, but not really. It's limited liability. So, that's what people do. I'm not recommending you do that. Speak to your accountant. I know some accountants don't like to do it. I know HMRC thinks it's a bit of a grey area. You can only do it once. So anyway. But in terms of the limit, it's 90,000. There's literally no ifs and buts. It was 85, it's now 90. So who knows what's going to happen in the October budget? Maybe they'll reduce it. Who knows? Cool. Hopefully that answers that question for you. Yeah, Tom saying gotta love the returns graveyard. Man, yeah, I've got a big pile. You must have an enormous warehouse of returns. Yeah, so that's the one thing you don't see. Everyone posts these big numbers and big profits and big sales, but what do you get with that as well? You get bigger problems, bigger return piles, bigger, headaches. Let's put it like that. So that comes with the territory. Ryu, does buying in current high selling stock and reselling it actually work at the time as popular trend? Have you tried this? Let me reread that. Does buying in current high selling stock, so just buying something that sells fast and reselling it, actually work at the time as a popular trend? Have you tried this? I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Are you talking about like essentially buying things that are really hot at the moment? Like I remember when I was a kid at school, like yo-yos became really popular. Are you talking about that, where you're buying in for like what is a hot item? I mean, the answer is, air fryers was a huge one during COVID. Yeah, people made a freaking fortune on those. A certain group owner I know made a fortune on those. If that's what you mean, then sure, take advantage. Just don't overdo it, if that makes sense. So the riskier the road, the higher the profit, I guess, if anyone's watched Star Trek. Do it, but obviously don't go crazy. Michael, I'm struggling to see my inventory on Sellerboard after listing and connecting to Amazon. Do I have to load these manually? My understanding was they just pulled in. Yeah, they should be just pulled in from Amazon. Has it linked up correctly? I don't know. My personal preference, Michael, is to use Seller Toolkit. So give Sellerboard a go. If you don't get on with it, go to Seller Toolkit. The one thing I really dislike about Seller Toolkit is that you have to enter your products without VAT. They do not have a toggle option or an option to enter your products, your cost of goods, with that. It's crazy. It's such an easy feature to add, but they don't do it. So as far as I'm aware anymore. So yeah, but no, I'm not sure. It should be there. Michael's saying for sole trader, is it best to get liability insurance? You pretty much have to. I can't remember what the threshold is, but I think it's if you sell over £5,000 worth of products a month, or it might be 3,000. You'll have to do the research on it. I can't remember the exact figures. You basically have to get insurance for your business, even if you're sole trader. That's my understanding. It's all very boring, to be honest. I'm not that familiar with it all. But yeah, they did pass that on to us. You do need insurance. You need a certain amount of insurance. I think I've got something in my group about insurance. You can go with Policy B. But yeah, I can't remember the exact details of what you need for that insurance, though, to be honest, because yeah, it was a very boring topic, to be honest, the insurance thing. So, but yeah. But I noticed, actually, I was looking yesterday at a insurance site because I was looking to get insurance to cover my pallets that I send. So apparently you've got to get third-party insurance for those, and they did say, are you an Amazon seller? Because I'll add Amazon into the policy. So that's something that's been cottoned on now. Like, they're obviously, all these insurance companies have caught on that. There's loads of Amazon sellers out there. big business for them, so that's all kind of built in now. So yeah, you should be good there. So Snappy Fish is saying, I used to sell Heelys and kids scooters for years back. That was busy. Yeah, I mean, if you can source the products and you know what's hot, especially if you've got kids, maybe they might give you a good insight as to what's, the hot thing on the playground or whatever, or for that or something else. Then or what's crazy at the moment, like in America, people are going crazy for those thermos mugs. What are they called? Like, I was going to say Hershey's, but no, they're not. What are they called? You let me know in the chat. I can't remember what they're called anyway, but they start with H, I'm sure. But yeah, they were going crazy for these mugs. It seemed cool so if you can get into that trend, that's really cool. Those Loom bands are really popular for kids as well at one point. There's always some sort of hot new thing. So, if you can get in on that, you get the products. Great. It's cool. Right. So that's what I mean by buy big, sell big when the iron's hot. Yes, if you've got some good experience with that, then absolutely, and you know what the trend is. The problem oftentimes is by the time you realise as an Amazon seller what's hot, you can't get the stock. So it's one of those tricky situations where by the time you realise you just can't get it. So maybe that's where having good wholesale contacts and things like that might be quite good. I don't know, but yeah, it's not something I really focus on. I'm mainly focusing on the seasons, I guess, in terms of hot and cold, in terms of, I don't mean the weather, but in terms of what sells well and what doesn't sell well. But yeah, I mean, there's certain trends. If you can get onto those and you're keeping your finger on the pulse and you don't over leverage, then absolutely you can make a freaking fortune doing that. But yeah, that's a tough one. But yeah, it's a tough one. But definitely, if you can crack it, you can make a lot of money. So yeah, if you can do it. Yeah, Stanley. I don't know why I thought it started with H. You're right, Stanley Cups. Yeah, Tom's probably sold millions of these, I bet. He's probably all over these Stanley Cups. But yeah, there are people going crazy for those. Yeah, so, it's just a mug or a cup. So, yeah, anyway. So yeah, if you can figure it out, that's cool. So let me go. I had a few questions from people. I said, don't ask me, ask tonight. So Charlie asked me in DMs, when deciding whether to buy a product, if Amazon, or not to buy a product, if Amazon or Morrison's are on the listing. So should you buy a product if Amazon or Morrison's are on the listing? Now, I don't know about Morrison's because I've never really sold a product where Morrison's are on the listing, but Morrison's is not like prime delivery. So if you can probably get on there and, sometimes I suppose I see products that are on Morrison's, but you have to get like minimum 40 delivery and things like that. So if it's a cheaper item, you might be able to actually sell that via FBA. Then when it comes to Amazon listing, it doesn't ever scare me at all, that Amazon listing. I know it scares a lot of people, but what I need to look at though is make sure that the current price that I'm looking at now isn't like super inflated. And when Amazon come back on the listing, they brick the price. Let's say a product, for example, is selling for $14.99. And I'm like, wow, I can make like £5 profit here. But then I realize, that when Amazon are on listing, they sell it for $2.99. Obviously, I'd make a massive loss there. So you don't want to gamble on a listing where Amazon are like selling it really cheap. But if Amazon are just keeping up with the current price trend of say $14.99, then, and you can see that they're sharing the buy box, then I've got no problem selling with Amazon, to be fair. As long as they don't have a history of selling it for those really cheap prices. Sometimes you see that, where Amazon's gone out of stock, there's not that many sellers, an item that normally sells for $2.99, $3.99, maybe selling for $9.99, $14.99. But when Amazon come back in, and especially you can see on Keeper how frequently they're in as well, they're going to absolutely kill the price back down to say $2.99. Especially if you see a big solid yellow, orange I suppose, on Keeper block where Amazon are in stock for months and months at a time. Sometimes you see products where they literally like blip in stock for a day or two, or maybe a week, and then they go out of stock. Those ones potentially have some potential, but that's a little bit more gambly. But again, you have to look at the history. It's simple as that. And just knowing that you literally could run into Amazon getting loads of stock and then screwing you. So it's when you've got to look at the history of the product. It doesn't matter if it's Amazon or another seller on there. You've got to look at the history and see what these product sells for normally, based on the history. It's never 100% accurate, but it's the best information we've got for deciding whether we want to jump and sell on that product or not. Cool. High value items too risky or too slow? I mean, it's a niche that works really well for some people. So I say do things that other people don't do. If you're scared of selling high value items, then probably other people are, which probably means it might be quite a good opportunity. The riskier the road, the harder profit. you know. So yeah, I mean, the returns can suck, but yeah, people can do very well on those kind of things. So, I've always said there's probably room in the market for someone to start selling washing machines and tumble dryers and stuff and ovens on Amazon, because there's no really, apart from any big players doing that. I'm not saying it's going to be an easy thing to do, but you probably could make some good money. I don't know, because I wouldn't get into that. And 99.9% of Amazon FBA sellers wouldn't get into selling washing machines and dishwashers and stuff on Amazon. So, yeah, I'm not saying it's a good category to get into, but sometimes thinking outside the box can be the better thing. I remember, and I've said this before, I was thinking of buying like 200 mountain bikes because I was like, no one's ever going to get these mountain bikes. And they were a killer deal. The shipping was really expensive, though, to get them into Amazon. Obviously, Amazon sell them. So the profit wasn't quite as high as I wanted, and it was quite a big gamble as well. So in the end, I decided, and these bikes were down, I think they're sold for like normally £400, and I was able to get them for like £130 or something like that. And I was thinking, should I just buy like 200 of them or 100 of them? But then I got put off. I was worried my prep center would basically get furious at me that I'd taken up their entire warehouse, and then at storage costs at Amazon if it goes wrong. And I just in the end decided not to do it. But maybe I could have bought 10. But I'm more of a, if I go for it, I go for it now. So, yeah, probably, I don't know. Cool. Any other questions? Yeah, hopefully, or Charlie, who DM'd me, he can come and watch that. Hopefully, are you in the chat, Charlie? Let me know. Otherwise, you can re-watch this. It's all recorded. There's another question I got from someone. Let's have a look. So it's asking basically, okay, in an example where there's 10 sellers on a listing, all with 5 stock, how many units would I buy? The answer to that is I don't know, because I need to know what the sales per month is. Let's say, for example, there's 10, let's make it easier. There's 5 sellers with 10 stock. It sells 50 per month, which means in theory, everyone could sell their stock, is going to sell their stock in the month. If there's only 50 in stock with all those 5 sellers and it sells 50 a month, how much would I buy? I mean, I'd like to go a little bit deeper. I'd buy 2-3 months worth, but yeah, you need to kind of divide. I mean, it's not a perfect science, but you need to kind of take the sales per month and divide it up by the number of sellers that are kind of within the buy box price range. And then you, in theory, you should get a fair share of the buy box. It's not 100% how it works, but it's kind of the best we can go on as you go really deep into it. There's many factors that go into the buy box, but yeah, essentially that's what you look at to determine. And then you decide, do you want to, based on all this math, do you want to buy 1 month, 2 months, 2 weeks, 1 week? It's up to you to decide how much you want to buy. So, excuse me. Snappy Fish says, might be able to help if you have a bike question. Yeah, there's a lot of people that love the bikes. So, yeah, it was a pretty good deal, actually. But in the end, I decided not to. I don't know actually how it turned out. I didn't actually follow up. But, yeah, so that's an interesting question anyway. Like, how many do you buy? Maybe a month, it might be a good... it all depends on your capital, your risk tolerance, how much how much it costs, how much you think you're going to sell per month. Are you happy to hold stock for longer? The answer is no real answer, really, but I suppose as a general rule, 1 month worth of stock is probably a good thing if you want to, like, how much should I buy? It all depends on the history of the product. Unfortunately, there's no single answers to a lot of this stuff. It's the answer to all this stuff is it depends, basically. So, yeah. So Ryu has asked, interesting you say storage price. Is that per item from Amazon or monthly catch-all payment storage? Is that a big issue for a lot of people? Yeah, so Amazon charge you for storage. It's based on square footage. So if you've got lots of little items, it won't be that much. You can probably fit quite a few into a square foot. If you're sending in mountain bikes, then obviously that's going to take several square foot per mountain bike. Storage limits change depending on your IPI score, like how much aged inventory you got on your Amazon. Sometimes they give you, like if I look at mine now, actually, if I look at mine, go to dashboard. So I know when my inventory sort of score gets bad, I don't get free storage. But right now, anything below 22 weeks of standard storage is free. And then 22 to 28 is like 42p, and then it goes up and up and up. These numbers change in Q4, by the way, because storage is more in demand. So that's always fun. Yeah, and you can see capacities as well, things like that. But yeah, that's what I get charged. And the same for oversized. Same, I get 22 weeks for free. Then it's different sizes, so it's actually cheaper to store oversized. But yeah, Amazon, so it's another business for them. When you run out of storage for certain categories, you have to bid for more storage, and it's very, very expensive. And storage costs do add up. As for anyone who saw my last video where I talked about, maybe 1 or 2 videos ago, where I took, basically ran through all my expenses. I started off with 12,000. I think it was £12,000, £12,200 from SDK, and by the time I did all the expenses, the storage, the shipping, the VAs, all that stuff, I was left with about 9,300 net profit, basically. So it went from my gross profit of 12,000 down to about 9,300 net. So it's amazing how quickly that can whittle down a little bit, but I'm still obviously very happy with that. But yeah, it's not 12,000 at the end of it, is it? So but yeah, so what was I going to look at? I can't remember. Yeah, my storage costs for the last 30 days are long-term storage, £114. Not great. Normal storage, £420 in the past 30 days. Really expensive. It's not great, to be honest. Something I need to get better at. Yeah, storing items for a long time can add up. I've got, so to give you an idea, I've got £107,500 worth of stock in Amazon right now. And yeah, I'm paying approximately about £500 for storage. So it's not a terrible amount, but if you can whittle that down, it'd be really good. It does add up. So yeah. Cool. Any other questions then? Initially say storage, but yeah, love bites myself. Okay, cool. James is asking, to get the profit margin you're currently, which is so surreal, how much do you think you spend outlay per month? So let's have a look. Let's look at this month, for example. This month's actually going pretty well. You thought last month was good. This month's even better. So my ROI, which is something I'm going to stop using and use profit margin more, but I couldn't actually quite define profit margin right now. I've done a degree in economics, by the way. But if you ask me, Simon, what is profit margin? Explain to me what it is. I wouldn't be able to tell you right now. I need to actually sit down and learn that properly. But I need to start thinking more in terms of profit margin. But my ROI is 51%. My profit margin is, I don't even know where to look at it. It's not a big, nice red circle on SDK. My margin is 20.62%. So how much do I spend per month? Yeah, I probably should know this. Again, I'm not very well organized, but my Amex bill this month is 46k, and my capital on tap is about 8k. So there you go. 54,000 would be pretty much what I'm spending right now, maybe per month, maybe a little bit, because obviously that spans maybe 2 months or a month and a bit, 6 weeks maybe. So maybe 50k every month is what I'm spending. I'm spending a little bit more now because I'm buying my usual products. I'm also buying for Q4 as well. So I'm spending a lot. But you got to spend it. So, and I think as a rule, I seem to have not discovered, but figured out that basically how much money you've got in stock. So I've got, I say, 110,000 in stock. So I'd expect to maybe make 10% of that in terms of profit. Obviously, assuming that you're buying at like 30% ROI. But yeah, 10% a month seems to be like a reasonable rule of thumb that seems to work quite well for people. And it's a theory I'm testing as I speak to more and more people. So yeah, if you've got £10,000 in stock, as long as it's good stock, not just any stock, you've actually done proper research on it, it's 30% ROI, that kind of thing, you're going to be making about 10% a month, so £1,000. So, obviously, as you sell that through, you need to not only replenish. This is where it gets tricky with Amazon. Not only do you need to replenish the stock you spent, you need to then grow as well. So, if you've got £10,000 worth of stock, you sell 5,000 of it. You would not only replace that 5,000, you're gonna then, if you want to grow as well, buy an extra 2,000. So you actually got to spend 7,000 that month and keep growing that way. It actually becomes quite. Just even replacing the stock you've spent, you've sold is quite tricky, and then growing on top as well. I mean, there are loads of leads at the moment, to be fair. So, So it's been quite nice, actually. Most people, rather than say, and I'd say this nicely, whining about there's no leads, everyone I've been speaking to saying, I'm broke this month. I've got no money left because there's so many leads out there that everyone's been buying so much stuff. Yeah, so especially it's probably Cogita's helping. There's so many, that's a gold mine of deals. Cool. So someone's actually asked me in the DMs, can you make money when starting just on Amazon to Amazon? Yes, that's how I started, just doing Amazon to Amazon, pretty much. You can do Amazon to Amazon. It's not a very reliable business model because Amazon to Amazon can be very hot and cold. You can go weeks or even months without any really good deals. There's always deals jumping in and coming in, but not like amazing ones. But yeah, I believe you can probably make 1,000 to 2,000 profit per month doing, as an average, doing Amazon to Amazon if you've got the capital. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, that's how I started. Absolutely. So yeah, I know people that just do Amazon to Amazon. They make between £1,500 and £2,000 every month. So yeah, not too bad. But yeah, it's very, I like to think of it as the icing on the cake. Your cake is going to be your proper business model, your OA, your RA, your wholesale, your private label, whatever you decide to do. And if you want to throw Amazon to Amazon on top as well, the icing on the cake, sure, go for it. Cool. Let's have any other questions. So, right, I have a rented shed for $435 a month, 30 by 20, which makes me think about arbitrage, online selling. Is arbitrage meaning you buy the stock and shopping it out yourself online via FBM? Arbitrage just means basically buying for one price and selling for another. It's like, that's all arbitrage means. Yeah, online arbitrage is where you're basically buying it from an online retailer. It might be Argos, it might be John Lewis, it might be any of those online retailers. But yeah, that's all arbitrage is basically, is like realizing essentially what is called an inefficiency in the market, where one retailer is selling something for one price and there's a customer somewhere else. Let me try and get my hands up here. So you've got a price over here that's too low and demand over here that's got a higher price, and essentially you're arbitraging that, the good between the two people basically. So that's all it is basically. Essentially inefficiency in the market. So, and it's mainly lack of information essentially is what causes this. So if the person buying knew about the low price here, they just buy it themselves, but they don't have the knowledge for this. We have the knowledge. So we are bridging the gap basically and essentially filling the inefficiency in the market, getting some fun economic stuff there. Cool. So we do FBA. Well, you can do FBM, which is fulfillment by merchant, which means you're sending it out. Fine. You can make good money. People do that a lot. It's cool. I like FBA because you can kind of do it remote. There's no limit to the scale you can do really with Amazon. But obviously you pay a little bit more for that with storage and shipping and things like that. You can probably do things a bit better with FBM, like maybe lower profit margins. But then you've got to pack it yourself, you've got to post it yourself. Bit more effort really. So, but no, if you're willing to do it, you can make money doing it. The amount of eBay deals I see that I'm like, yeah, I could sell it on eBay, but you know what? I can't bother to have the stock in my apartment. I don't want to sit here and pack stuff. So I'm just passing up on that opportunity. So there's an arbitrage opportunity there that I'm passing up on because it's not one of my goals to fill that, basically sit here packing all day. So JS says, do you sell hazmat items? Yes, I sell a lot of hazmat items. I've got I did have a pallet of hazmat items going out from the prep center today, but I think I just told my prep center to send it by UPS because it was too difficult to get the insurance for the pallet. Obviously I always insure my products as well. I don't want to send like 10 grand worth of stuff without insurance. Although it wouldn't kill my business, I'd be extraordinarily upset if that happened. So I do pay for the insurance. But yeah, I sell a lot of hazmat. Q4 is coming up. Hazmat is really popular for Q4. What sells well in Q4? Perfumes, aftershave, gifts, toys, video games, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that stuff does really well. I've been going super hard using Cogita, buying loads of perfumes. But there's loads of other perfume sites you can buy as well. Notino's a great one as well for not only ungating, but also buying perfumes when they're on sale. In fact, was there a sale on today, actually? I didn't check. Hopefully my VAs are on top of it. Yeah, 20% off sale right now. Okay, cool. There's probably a good deal on there then. I'll have to look and see. Yeah, there's something sat there, which I bought as an ungate. I cannot point to save my life. That is now 20% off. So I need to maybe return the stuff that I bought and buy it again. Right, thanks. Like FBA because I have a day job, night time to sleep. Yeah, exactly. So if you want to make this a full-time job and you've got time, then FBM can be extremely profitable if you're willing to sit there and pack it yourself, maybe hire in some help if the economics of it makes sense to do that. Obviously, as you scale up, there becomes more and more problems. You know, warehouse potentially, storage, prep tables, good ways to prep things, contracts with Royal Mail, all this kind of stuff. So, but if you're willing to, again, it sounds like a lot of work, which to me sounds like perhaps an opportunity there, that if you're willing to do it, so I'm not willing to do that. So that already whittles down the competition. But yeah, it's essentially a bit like eBay, essentially, where you have to pack it yourself. But you also get access to the scale of Amazon. So it's like a hybrid of eBay, basically doing FBM. So you get to sell stuff, you have to pack it yourself, but you get the scale of the Amazon, selling on Amazon. Oh, my light ran out. Okay. And now my camera's readjusting, so I'm like overly exposed now. Yeah, that's not great. Let me adjust that quickly. So there we go. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question a little bit. Let me just reduce that down slightly. Cool. Let me get rid of that as well. Right. That light has caused chaos. Okay, cool. Any other questions then? Any coming in via the DMs? No. Okay, someone was thinking, and how much capital was thinking RA2. I don't know what you mean by that, but yeah, RA can be very good as well, especially around Christmas. God, it seems weird without that blue light now. But yeah, I don't know about capital. As much capital as you can afford, basically, for Amazon is the answer to that. The minimum probably really is like 1,000, 2,000. As I said before, 10,000 is based. So 10% is your sort of way you're looking. So if you have £1,000, you probably make about £100 a month. But yeah, so Ben is asking, on a 30 to 50 sell per month listing, say there are 10 sellers, all with 5 stock, how much would you buy? Yeah, Ben, I answered this before, but I need to know, and I'm going to type it in for you, what is the SPM? There you go. So what is the SPM to that? So, you've, God, I'm such an idiot. Just ignore me. I see it. So, God, what's wrong with me? I'm too tired. So, okay, let's say it's 50 sales per month, 10 sellers with 5 stock. So, essentially, every single month you're saying with 50 SPM, you are, between all the sellers, you're selling 50 a month, and the listing sells 50 a month. So, everyone's stock's getting cleared out. Let me say, ignore me. Everyone's stock's getting cleared out. So, in that case, a 50 SPM one, I'd buy obviously, we have to assume that people are going to restock. If you want 1 month's worth of stock, you need to buy 5 items. So 5 items. So if you want 3 months worth of stock, then you buy 15. So it's down to how much you want to stock. If you look at the history, it depends. Is this a one-time deal that you're seeing as a discount on a retailer? If it is, I'd buy like 100. I'd buy out the stock depending on how much it is, how much stock there is. Is this something that replens all the time, and you can see this big roller coaster wave of the sellers and the price going up and down over time? In that case, I'd probably just buy a couple of months worth, maybe 2 months, 3 months, maybe at most. It all depends. There's no right or wrong answer. It depends what site you're sourcing it from. It depends. Do I expect more sellers to jump on, or has it been consistently 10 sellers? Every single listing for me is basically and have to analyze it in its own merits. But as a general rule, I'd say somewhere between 1 and 3 months of stock. But if you can clear all the stock and you don't think anyone else is going to get that stock ever again, they're not going to restock it, I'd buy more personally. But yeah, and as long as I'm aware, I know that the price history on that product looks solid. I'm looking at the 90-day, 180-day. I'm not looking at the average. I'm just looking at the chart. As long as I know that, then, and I know that I'm going to make a profit no matter what, then I'm pretty good, basically. And you guys know how I like to analyze my products. I look at the downside and the upside. So I like my worst case scenario price to be about break even at my worst case, and my obviously best case is to be, sky's the limit essentially. So I know that if things go down to pretty much the worst price it's been on the listing, at least I'm breaking even, not losing, or maybe slight loss. So for me, that's how I look at my products. Maybe I'm missing out on some products where potentially the upside is maybe say £10 and the low side is £5. I'd probably skip a product like that. It all depends how frequently it was down at like the loss price. Yeah, there's no right. I don't know. It all depends. It literally all depends. This is why you need to practice day in, day out analyzing products. So you just need to literally. Do you know how you do that? You do that by sourcing. So you need to source every day and analyze products. It's the only way. There's no shortcut to this. You have to learn it yourself. Yeah, you just have to sit and learn and realize. And sometimes you've got to make bad buys and learn from those mistakes. So hopefully that answers your question. Nimco is asking, what are you asking, Nimco? So Ryu, how do you guarantee your stock actually sells? Is it based on the data, quadita, etc.? And a surefire sell. It's risky. You buy stock and never sells. There's never any guarantees on any of this stuff, but it's all basically an educated guess based on the price history. So if you're looking at a product and it's currently £100 right now, it's just £100 today and maybe this week, but then you look at the entire history of that product for 3 years and it's been selling for £50, then pretty likely that product's going to go down to £50, and the £100 that you're on now is probably a temporary price spike. However, if you jump on that listing and half the time it's at £50 and half the time it's at £100, then probably more likely you're going to get a sale at £100. And again, this is where I say, hopefully that's £50 sell price that you're doing is going to be at least around break even or maybe a slight loss. So there's no guarantees. It's all educated guesses based on the history of the product, and even then you can get it wrong. But the more you do this, the more you source, the more you analyze, the more experience you get, the better you get at guessing. Basically, it's a guessing game, and you're never going to guess 100%, but you can guess pretty likely. You can be pretty pretty accurate most of the time. Another sale came in there for £24 profit. We're now on £454 profit for the day. So I've had a few good sales come in since I've been doing the stream. Quite nice. Yeah, pretty good. Can't complain about that. Cool. Yeah, still sells. That's what I like to hear. Look, there's no guarantees in this. It all comes down to educated guesses. That's all it comes down to. The price history, the best thing we've got. And you just have to look at that. So again, I'm not sure if you're watching the stream, person who's asking these questions in DMs, but what's the difference between Seller Board and Seller Toolkit? They do the same thing. They are pretty much the same thing. They have different interfaces, probably slightly different features. For me, Seller Board is just, I'm not a big fan of it because you have to enter your cost of goods excluding VAT. And for me, that is a game changer. It's already a pain in the butt as it is, entering my cost of goods without having to take the VAT off. Now, if you're a wholesale person, which I think was where Seller Board is mainly aimed at, then sure, it's fine to do that. But I always think of stuff in terms of including VAT. Maybe that's a bit naive of me. Maybe I'm a bit of an amateur, but that's the kind of way I think of it. I use ROI still, which is obviously not the best thing. So Chris asked, where do I buy my boxes from? So I don't prep myself anymore, but when I did, I bought them from Kite. If you go into my server and you go to equipment, I think the channel's called, I have all the equipment that I used, including the link to Kite and the size of the boxes that I used to buy. So yeah, it's in there. I think it was, I can't remember what size it is, but yeah, but Kite maybe is not the best place because you need to buy them in bulk to get a decent discount. I think there's a site called Saddlers that also does used boxes. They can be good, but you can also apparently go down to your local Asda or whatever and try and get boxes there. You just need to make sure they're double thickness or double, what do you call it, double walled. Otherwise, you won't be insured by Amazon if anything gets damaged. What about automated stuff? What do you mean? I don't know what you mean by that. Automated stuff. What do you mean, Ryu? I have no idea what you mean there. Tom G, nice profit, smashing it. Thank you very much. Not doing too bad this month. Got some good stock in, so it's just replacing that stock, isn't it? You get the good stock. It's the never-ending hamster wheel of replacing stock. But yeah, we've got Q4 coming up. I'm hoping to smash it. My goal is to try and make £20,000 in December. Hopefully I'm going to absolutely destroy that number, but we'll see basically how much stock I have left for December. But yeah, that's my goal, is to make at least £20,000 profit, which after expenses probably around 15. Nimco, since Q4 is around the corner, if you had limited capital, would you hold your money until November, December so you can get more profit? No, I'd probably still churn it, to be honest, and that's exactly what I'm doing now. I'm not holding everything for Q4. If I'm buying a perfume now, even though it might be limited, I'm still sending it in, as in like I might be able to buy 10 units, for example. Maybe I can make £10 now or £15 in December. I'm just taking the £10 now, basically. I probably, I don't know, it's a difficult one. Maybe Tom's got a thought on this, but for me, I'm actually just kind of, because especially I've got, I guess it all depends. Do you have leads to buy? If you're passing up on leads because you don't have enough money, then sell the items. If you are cash rich and you have more cash and more stock and no leads to buy, then it probably does make more sense to hold the stuff. But yeah, that's probably my answer, actually. Yeah. So, but for me, because I'm definitely cash poor right now, I'm struggling to pay my Amex bill every month because I'm over leveraging right now because I'm buying not only to replan what I'm doing now, I'm buying massively for Q4. But yeah, I'm buying stuff that is pretty much always profitable now. Not always, but for the most part, I can make a profit now. And if I get offered a profit now, I'm going to take it. So I can reinvest that money and buy more stuff. So yeah. Can you also please share where you buy office equipment from, such as monitor, desk, chair? I mean, all over the place. So this desk chair is from Secret Labs. It's a gaming chair. They do some really cool chairs. Definitely recommend you spend a decent amount of money on a chair. Otherwise, you'll be replacing it every year or two because they kind of get worn out. These are really good. Secret Labs, pretty pricey, around the £400 or £500 mark. If you're really bored, you can go for a Herman Miller Aeron. But yeah, they're like £1,000. But no, you can get a Secret Labs one. They're pretty good. They do the job. Desk-wise, I've got a standing desk. So if I raise it up now, you can see I'm slowly disappearing here. Very good if you're working from home, to be honest, to have a standing desk. You've got your presets and stuff. So to do some standing, not always sitting all day. But this is literally something I got from Amazon, a standing desk element, and then the actual top of it. I mean, you can buy them as whole packs on Amazon, but I just got like the raising bit from Amazon, and then I bought an IKEA. I guess it's almost like a kitchen worktop thing, but they've got all sorts of worktops and desktops and things like that in IKEA, and I just bolted it on. I'm good to go, basically. So, yeah, Amazon, mostly Amazon. That's where I buy most of the things from. Chairs from Secret Labs. I'm trying to think what else really. Printers from Amazon, all that kind of stuff. 90% of it's from Amazon. So, cool. Automated pricing. You have a large list. Yes, 100% I use, and I'm going to get the link before I tell you what it is. But you all know which one I love to use. I'd be interested to know which one Tom uses, actually. But yeah, I love PPP. They are sponsoring me. So just make that you aware of that. Full disclosure. But it's the one I use. I could use any one I wanted. And this is the one I choose to use. So Profit to Pro, that's the link for it. I freaking love it. It uses AI, but it's actually pretty clever. It gets me crazy sales, well above the normal sort of minimum price. So yeah, it's good, and you can see what it's been doing. So in terms of how it's like pushing the price up and stuff, it's really cool. So it learns listing, gets you the best price for your products. I love it. So if you want to sign up to PPP, the link is in the chat. It's the one that I use. I said I could use any of them. That is the one I use. Yeah, it's cool. It's good. Snappy is asking, can you be self-employed and buy from Gita, as it's asking come here? Yes, you can. Just put non-applicable or maybe even leave it blank, but yes, you can. So make sure you use the code FBA Mogul when you sign up. So don't forget to do that, or you don't get your £120 free credit. So make sure you do that. You can add it in afterwards if you want, I think. But yeah, better to add it in when you sign up. But yes, Snappy, you can. You can definitely sign up as a sole trader. You're all good to go. Yeah, I bet Tom's got like 5 of them, hasn't you? So, like, you got different colours. No, yeah, Herman Millers, they're the best. They're the ones. Yeah, they hold their value as well. I mean, this Secret Labs one's probably not worth anything now, but at least if you buy like a £1,200 Herman Miller, you could literally sell that probably like £600, £700. They go for good money. They last pretty much for 15, 20 years, and they go for really sick money. So money well spent if you've got the money. But yeah, obviously very expensive. I've not even sprung for one yet. So I'm happy with my Secret Labs one. Not sponsored by Secret Labs. They wouldn't sponsor me. But yeah, so... but cool, yeah. Snappy Fish, DM me if you need any help. it's all good. If you need help with Cogita, getting signed up, it is crazy how many deals there are as well. My younger brother has just started a Cogita price drop monitor server, so some sick deals dropping in there. I think we run into a few small teething issues with being rate limited on Cogita because he's absolutely hammering the hell out of it. But yeah, some crazy deals on there. So if you want to sign up to that as well, or just DM me and yeah, I'll put the link in. But you can DM me as well. But it's a crazy, forget the link up here. Crazy good monitor. That's going to be the best way to get your deals from Cogita. Let me get that as well. You can also use RB-Source as well. So there's that anyway. Cool. If you want to sign up, 3-day free trial, get yourself some deals. Quit if you don't want to afterwards. But yeah, it's limited to 50 members as well, which is good. So we decided, so I've got no skin in the game on it, but I'm helping him out. But I was like, I'd rather have a group that's limited to numbers, but pay a bit more, than have one that's cheaper price that is open to hundreds of people. So for the foreseeable future right now, it is limited to 50 people. So that's it. Tom, just one, but debating getting another. Yeah, they're the best. You can't, yeah, they're good. They're the best chairs, aren't they? So, yeah, you can buy them like used, but they still cost like 800 quid, something crazy. So, which just shows you, I think there's actual businesses out there that make all their money from getting these from these big London firms, and then reselling them on because they sell for so much money used. They're like, yeah, it's crazy how much they sell for. So it's like an Apple product, and essentially, like it holds its value. So, oh yeah, who's buying the new iPhone then? It's just announced the new iPhone, looks amazing. New AirPods, all sorts of fun stuff like that. So yeah, it looks good. So cool, we've done an hour, guys. Do you guys have any more questions? I'm happy to stay on, answer some more questions. If not, I will end the stream, go take a quick break, and then I will be in the live chat in FBA Moguls. And if you're not in my Discord server, which I certainly hope you all are, then you need to join. And let me get the invite for that. Make sure edit invite, never expires, what we want. Make sure you join my server. We hang out in the lounge, which is a voice chat, and we wait till midnight and we watch all the price drops come in together. The more eyes on it, the better, because there's some crazy deals. So, and I don't want to plug too many things here, but you know, Profit Sweep, which is the group. Again, if you want to join that, I can get you past the wait list if you DM me. I'll give you the link for that. They've got some crazy deals. Just the other night, on Saturday night, John, I probably shouldn't say, some certain site did a price drop of a Kenwood mixer from 399 pence down to 29.99, I think it was. Yeah, because I think they meant to make it from 400 down to 300, but they forgot to add the extra 0 in there. So it went from 399.99 down to 29.99 instead of 299.99. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, so some people got a great deal there. Profit was like £200. I don't know what the profit was, ridiculous on Amazon. So yeah, crazy money. Some people made a lot of money there. So we had to hang out, chat, a bit of banter, talk about all sorts of stuff, watch the price drops come in. And say sometimes there's a lot of price drops on there, you know, 50, 100 price drops. So, and it's obviously the more eyes on it, the better, because then you can, you know, you won't get it to yourself, but at least you can share basically, and we can all eat basically, rather than one person scooping everything up. So yes, Simon, it is at midnight typically, but we normally chat from about 11 p.m. onwards. I think there maybe are some stuff that drops there. Yeah, some stuff drops at 11 p.m. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, normally on there for maybe 10:30, 10:45. See what drops at 11. Mainly it is midnight though that we have the drops from certain sites. They're in Profit Sweep. And again, if you want to join that group, make sure you DM me because I can get you past the wait list. It's good to know the owner. So yeah, and that group it's free until the 12th of September, and then everyone's going to have to start paying. So, and I'll get a nice payday as well. Maybe we'll have to see. So. We will see, but yeah, it's a great group. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed that all. We've gone on a little bit, but I'm happy to have stayed on. It's been really fun. Had some great questions come in. I really do appreciate you all taking the time to hang out with me. We had 23 concurrent streamers, which is really sick. So thank you. That's good. Not a record, but pretty close, I think. I think 24, 25, I think was a record. Can't remember now, but yeah, really pleased that you've all come on and hung out. And Snappy, I think it ends on the 12th, yes, but maybe the 14th, I'm not sure. if you just join, I'll put a link in. You know, I'm just gonna put the link in for you guys so you can join it if you want to. Let me get it up. I can't remember exactly what it says in terms of when it's free. But one thing you will do, though, is you're going to lock in the price of $59.99 because once the free trial is over on the 12th or the 14th, I can't remember exactly, it goes up to $79.99. So you'll be grandfathered into that old price. And there's some fantastic deals there as well if you decide you want to buy a year or even go lifetime. I think their lifetimes have sold out now. They were a killer deal at £1,000, to be honest. But yeah, there's... yeah, it's a great group, to be fair. So I utilize all these things myself. I use Cogita myself. Again, link for that in description. Use the code FBA Mogul to get £120 credit, and you can DM me for a deal as well. So you know, yeah, profit sweep as well for Amazon to Amazon. Other price drops. Right now, there's a lot of work being done for you, and then if you can source as well, which is something that everyone struggles with, then you're going to make a lot of money on Amazon. JP, I was looking at Cogita earlier, some great prices. The only thing I'm worried about is just starting out and truck turns up the pallet. Just don't order that much stuff. Not every single wholesaler has a big minimum order quantity or minimum order value as it is on Cogita. Sometimes it's only £200 or £300, so that you're not going to get a pallet, especially if you just order a little bit. So don't worry about that. I'm also in an apartment as well. Hopefully at some point I will get a house. Thinking of moving to Dubai, so we'll have to see about that one. But yeah, I'm going out to Dubai in January though to have a holiday there for a month and test it out, see what I think of it before I move out there. So exciting times because I don't want to pay a ridiculous amount of taxes to the Labour government. But let's see what the October budget brings. But anyway, that's enough politics. But yeah, so don't worry, JP. DM me. I'll send you a nice lead if you want, JP. DM me from inside FBA Moguls. You know my name, FBA Mogul. Yeah, DM me and I'll give you a lead. Give you some nice perfumes, or not perfumes, cosmetic items or whatever, so that you can buy that aren't going to take up too much space. Cool. Thanks very much, guys. I do appreciate it. We had a massive drop off on the viewers, so I'm going to wrap it up. But yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And check out my other videos as well if you want to learn how to do Amazon FBA.